What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Hey everybody, I'm Amy Chang, a nurse, a mom, and a health coach, and this is Healthy AF, where honesty and humor and heart meet real talk about feeling good again, inside and out. We're cutting through the noise, dropping the guilt, and reminding you getting healthy isn't about perfection. It's about choosing yourself, one loving decision at a time. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Healthy AF. I'm so glad you're here with me today. My name is Amy Chang, and I am a health coach here with Healthy Life Health and Wellness Coaching. Today's theme is spirituality for the whole month of April. I love talking about spirituality in behavioral change. It makes a big difference in our level of resilience and our level of motivation. And I think it's a common thing to overlook when we start talking about behavioral change. Most of us want to talk about like, how much willpower do we have? How much discipline do I have? But those things are likely when we are in control and in charge of life. But the spirituality brings us to a whole nother level when we're not in charge and control of life. And how do we sustain those habits we want to have or we've worked so hard to have when we are actually like out of control of some situations going in our lives? Like, for instance, you have a regular exercise routine, but then your mom gets sick, or the stomach flu goes through your house, or you typically eat really great food, but you haven't been sleeping well, and now all you want is sugar, right? All of those things. Those are things that we can't really control much, but what sustains us and pulls us through and has us become resilient, spirituality. So let's do a very specific example. I had a client this week, and she is a perfect example of most of my clients and myself, actually. So I think you'll be able to relate. Listen in and see. She is trying to make one behavioral change, just one. Her behavioral change is getting up in the mornings and exercising before work. It's just one change. And she's been missing the mark. It's been really hard for her to actually accomplish, I'm going to get up in the mornings and work out before work. She knows she wants to do it, but she just can't quite get it done. And so we peeled back, as we do in health coaching and as we have done in health coaching. Well, what would have to happen for you to be able to get up and do that exercise before work? And as you can imagine, there's a whole handful of things that have to happen. Her exercise clothes have to be ready. She has to have the space. She has to know what she's going to be doing. She has to get in bed on time. She has to get up early. She has to reset her alarms, maybe have a conversation with her spouse or housemate to let them know that she's going to be up. There are a lot of things that have to happen. And she, like many of us, was perplexed as to why this one simple thing wasn't happening. And when we broke it down into all the little tiny things that had to happen, her little mind was so blown. It was so much fun. We had such a fabulous conversation, and she discovered so many things, actually, that she was going to have to shift and change in her life just to accomplish that one seemingly small habit. So where does spirituality come into play here? Grace. Grace and the ability to not achieve something the first time. The ability to let go of how you think it should be, or how you think you should be, or how you think it should be so simple, or how you think that like if you just pushed a little harder, it would happen. Typically not. If you push a little harder, it might happen, but the sustainability is usually tanked. So we broke this all down and we went back to like, okay, great. So you have an evening routine. That evening routine dictates when you go to bed. When you go to bed dictates when you wake up. When you wake up dictates, what you're available to do in the mornings. So we rewound that whole thing and we started systematically picking through. Well, the way you wind down at night has to change. If we shifted the wind down just 15 minutes instead of the hour that she really wants to get in bed a little earlier, that having that hour full of sleep would allow her to get up at a time where she could get her exercise in. If we just started by shifting it 5 minutes or 15 minutes, and then had the grace to acknowledge that accomplishment, to acknowledge how much energy it required her to shift her wind down routine by that 5 minutes, by that 15 minutes. Then there becomes a whole bowl of available motivation and love and confidence and resilience for when maybe that doesn't happen. That to me is where spirituality comes in. And let's talk specifically about spirituality for a half a shake. Spirituality is not religion. Spirituality doesn't really come with a set of rules, which means it doesn't come with a set of shoulds. And it doesn't come with a set of judgments. This is bad and this is good and this is bad. You shouldn't do this and you should do that. Spirituality is spacious. Spirituality, because of its definition of connectedness and oneness, is more loving and open and accepting. So maybe if we use those words when we talk about how your spirituality impacts one behavioral change, it might become very clear to you how spirituality is an amazing tool to add in to your behavioral change tool belt. Let's say that my client gets in bed 15 minutes early. And she, with love and acceptance and openness, recognizes that behavioral shift. Who then might she be when she wakes up? Who then might she be the next night when she has a choice on whether or not to get in bed at her old time or a 15-minute earlier time or even a 30-minute earlier time? That could be cool. Yeah. This is how we utilize spirituality inside our behavioral changes. I'd like to ask you, where do you see in your own life that a little bit of spaciousness and love and acceptance and acknowledgement could shift who you are for yourself when you wake up the next day? Hey, remember that you are so loved and that you are so completely overflowing and covered in grace. Don't forget that today. And don't forget to tune in next week. Next week, we're going to talk about practicing spirituality, because if we don't practice it, it is not a tool that we can whip out of our back pocket. I will see you then, and subscribe and like and share. Healthy AF. See ya. Thanks for hanging out with me today on Healthy AF. I hope something you heard helps you take one small, kind step toward your healthiest self If you love this episode, hit subscribe so you never miss a conversation. And if you want more support, head over to myhealthylife.coach to connect with me. Remember, you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to start choosing you. See you next time.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.